This UC is from The Guardian. It says, immigrants with no criminal record now largest group in ICE detention. You know, I listened to Mr. Van Drew.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. I listened to Mr. Van Drew, who I do respect, and he went on and on and on about how this is about the bad guys. And I will be honest with you and tell you that when it came down to the election, there were a lot of people who really believed that the Republicans and the president were all about getting the bad guys out. People truly believed your words, but your actions are not matching up, because I've got the receipts showing that they are not matching up. And so call us a little paranoid in believing that the hypocrisy may continue to come from across the aisle. Speaking of hypocrisy, I do want to point out, since we're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, because we couldn't talk about Epstein before. If y'all recall, we were gone for about 2 months because we couldn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. And now everybody wants to act as if they want to have like a real honest conversation about the victims and the survivors and everybody else. Where was this conversation a long time ago? And I know that y'all love to go back and say that Joe Biden didn't do it. You know, Joe Biden is blamed for everything. Joe Biden didn't do anything, and it was Joe Biden's fault, and why wasn't Joe Biden? Joe Biden didn't campaign on it. I just want to be clear. If y'all can run me the tape, then run me the tape. But you know, when you campaign and you go out and you make a promise, then we evaluate whether or not you actually meet your promises. So listen, this was rope that y'all decided to hang yourselves with because the president campaigned on the Epstein files while we were campaigning on things such as affordability. We were campaigning on the things that now people are complaining about, right? Because of the tariffs and the fact that you guys won't say anything and tell the president, hey, sir, tariffs are taxes. We as Republicans, we usually don't like taxes. And guess what? That's going to make everything unaffordable. So now he's going to be our big savior, and he is going to reduce the price of foods because he is the guy that actually increased the price of foods. So listen, if you can have this honest conversation about Epstein now, let's just go ahead with this lame duck president and be honest about everything that the American people care about. They care about affordability. They care about the fact that literally people are starving in this country because we have 42 million people, and I don't remember any one of you during that almost 2-month break deciding to go on faux news or any other news outlet and say, you know what, it is wrong to have 42 million people that are relying on $6 a day to eat, and we have the money because somehow our president was able to find under the couch cushion, the one that JD wasn't sitting on, under the couch cushion, he was able to find 40, how much did he find to send to Argentina? 40, there we go, 40 billion to send to Argentina. But those emergency funds, he couldn't find them emergency funds so that Americans could eat. So listen, if y'all are gonna be honest and talk about Epstein right now, let's be honest about everything that is causing y'all to lose real bad. Did y'all see the election results on November 4th? It didn't go very well.
For Crockett, the bigger issue wasn't just Epstein or immigration. It was the everyday reality people are facing. I could hear the urgency as she talked about affordability, rising costs, policies like tariffs, something she argued were effectively taxes, driving prices even higher. And what stood out most was a contradiction she pointed to, leaders presenting themselves as solutions to problems they may have helped create. The argument kept building. She painted a picture of a country where millions are struggling just to eat, referencing tens of millions of Americans living on extremely limited daily resources. That number hit hard. It wasn't abstract anymore. It felt immediate. And then came the comparison that really landed. Crockett questioned how large sums of money could be found for international commitments, while basic needs at home, like food security, remain unresolved. The implication was clear: priorities.
So let's just start having honest conversations so that hopefully some of y'all in some of these tight seats, maybe y'all can get reelected and we can just work together.
The hearing didn't feel like a hearing anymore. It felt like a broader message, one about accountability, consistency, and what actually matters to people outside that room. Then she brought it all together. If lawmakers were finally ready to have an honest conversation about Epstein, she argued, then why stop there? Why not be honest about everything? About the economy, about policy decisions, about the real struggles people are facing every day? That question lingered. And just before her time ran out, she made one final point, pointing to election results as a signal that something isn't working, that voters are paying attention. Then, just like that, she yielded. But the weight of what she said didn't go anywhere. It stayed in the room, in the contrast between promises and reality, in the tension between narratives, and in the growing sense that these conversations aren't just about politics anymore. They're about what people are actually living through every single day.